Well, tomorrow kicks off Cleveland's budget season when Mayor Bibb formally presents his $806 million spending plan to the City Council. It's a rare occasion when council members get to press the mayor face to face about city services and his priorities.
Yeah, so let's expand the conversation here with Mark Naymik to see where we go. He, of course, is the editor-at-large of Signal Cleveland. Now, Mark, so good to have you here, as always.
Thanks for having me back.
So we know the bulk of the city's general fund budget. It covers police, it covers fire. What do you think council members are going to be looking for in this?
Well, that's a great point. Let's zero in on that. Vacancies, particularly in the police department. For years, they've not had enough officers. At one time, they had 1,600. Last year, they were about 300 short of the goal. They budgeted around 1,350 police officers for this coming year. I think council will ask a lot about the recruitment, which, as you know, you've reported on it. They've been raising salaries, trying different things, but the real problem is you have an aging police force who are approaching that age of 55, which in this system is eligible for full retirement, which means more and more are going to be coming off. Right now, we're around 1,130 police officers. That'll get a lot of attention. The housing department, cracking down on landlords, code violators, getting more inspectors in there. I think that's something that council will embrace because they're the front line. They hear those complaints all the time. And then, of course, the West Side market, which always becomes a big issue because it's seen as this idea of taking money from the neighborhoods. The city does still have to pick up the tab, even though that's now run by a nonprofit. About $700,000 from the general fund budget every year goes to operating costs there. Now, that's separate from the many millions, including the $23 million that were kind of set aside towards this massive renovation. So that usually gets kicked around a bit too.
Yeah, any new budget items that we should be paying attention to that are on the table?
Yeah, there's a couple. One will make a lot of sense, the Office of Innovation and Technology. We did have that cyber attack before. Some of that could be addressed by that. They're setting aside around $26 million for that. But then Parks and Rec, who would have realized we didn't have a Parks and Rec department? It was always part of a much larger department under Public Works, which did streets and other things. And this is a great thing. Those rec centers are the lifeblood and the real key in the city for reaching. They do all kinds of programs, reaching residents. So they're going to start this about a $38 million budget. Again, I don't anticipate a lot of pushback from City Council on that, but they will be talking about it for sure in a little more detail to see what they get out of it. The rec centers, they've talked about super centers and maybe even closing some and building new ones down the road.
I mean, that's such a, especially the parks and everything around this area, it's such a draw for people. Yeah. It's just the beautiful nature around us. All right. People have to come to Atlanta. We have to leave, Cleveland. We have to leave Cleveland once in a while to get away. Talk to us about the airport. I've heard a lot of people talk about what they think needs to happen.
Right, and this is a great point to emphasize. So the city's operating budget, which is the $806 million, is separate from what they call an enterprise fund. The airport pays for itself. That means you and me and travelers and the airlines pay for it. They spend about $185 million a year, but it's non-tax dollars. That being said, this has been in the news a lot because they're talking about a master plan. And that master plan includes possibly putting shovels in the ground by 2026, maybe the end of this year, to start a new terminal as part of a big renovation. But airport does get discussed because they still come before council.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Well, we appreciate you
Thanks for
walking
having me.
us through what's going to happen. Mark Naymik with Signal Cleveland, as always. Thank you.
Thanks.